Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our live broadcast today. Today we're gonna have a host. Actually, we're gonna have a guest in our studio, the governorship candidate of the African Action Congress for Ondo State elections, in the person of Comrade Kunle Wiseman Ajayi. But before he comes on, I'd like you guys to do me a favor and share this video broadcast so that a lot of people can join us. Okay, so do me a favor as you come in, spread the news around, let people know that we have someone in the studio today who is the best suited to lead Ondo State. All right, so we're going to give you a few seconds to just share the link and so that as many people as possible can join. Also, I'm also going to share a link that also share the link. I'm going to share a link that you can use to join us in the studio here if you want to be part of the discussion. So I just sent a link in the comment section. Okay, but also we are waiting for Kunle Wiseman to join us, so he'll be joining us very shortly. But before he comes, I'm going to be playing a video, a little video about him that I just bumped into. And this will begin to give you a little knowledge about the person that we're talking about. So I'm just going to share this video and we will wait for Kunle Wiseman Ajayi to join us. So just watch this video.
Our beloved Ondo State used to be the best on education, but that is no more. Sadly, we couldn't even pay for WAEC for the past 2 years. What do we need to do? Irapada Ondo, we need collective wealth and collective welfare. At some point, just a few years ago, many people used to come to Ondo State Mother and Child Hospital, even if it was not the best in terms of healthcare, but it was the best around. But where is Mother and Child today? It's bad. Where are the healthcare centers? They are all gone. What do we need to do? Irapada Ondo, we need collective wealth and collective welfare. So says the African Action Congress. We ask ourselves, where is Oluwa Glass? Where is Ifon Ceramic? Where is Okitiupa Oil Palm PLC that used to be the largest palm production in Africa? That Malaysia came to get some piece of our seeds, and today they have the highest production in the world. Have it in mind that palm oil is even costlier than fuel today. Okitiupa Oil Palm PLC is gone, and it has been taken off by neoliberalism. What do we need to do? Irapada Ondo, we need collective wealth and collective welfare. Where is Ifon Ceramic? Despite the fact that we have all of the mineral resources still deposited in the whole of Ifon and all the parts, all the surrounding parts in Ondo State. Ifon Ceramic as a company has been killed and we need it back. This is why we want Irapada Ondo, collective wealth, collective welfare. So says my party, the African Action Congress.
Okay, that was a short video of Kunle Wiseman, and he's going to join us in the studio later. You know, I know Kunle Wiseman very well, and I can say a lot about him. But usually, when someone is running for a public post, I like for the person to speak for themselves. Okay, I like to hear from the person so that it's not just made up stories. It's not just built up profile. It's not just a whitewashed image that we're presenting to people. I like for the person to come, we ask them questions and they're able to answer directly. So I'm going to indulge you. We're going to wait for him. He just left another interview. They reached to me. They said, just left another interview and we ask you to give us 3 minutes. So in a short while, they're going to be able to join us and you'll be able to ask questions by yourselves. Okay. You can leave a question in the comment section and he will be able to answer the question. And we will also, we're going to replay this video on our channels and on social media so that those of you who miss it, you get a chance to go back and watch this video and see why someone like Kunle Wiseman is the kind of person you need for Ondo State. They say great things come in small, simple packages. Okay. Nigeria is in a situation where you have, when I say you, I mean Nigeria, we have experimented. I say as much these days I'm trying to kind of pull myself away because I cannot keep um, taking the fall with everybody else when I've paid my dues. Do you understand? It's like if someone says don't cross the road at a certain point, that it is dangerous and a car is going to hit you, and they tell five of us, and I decide not to cross the road, and the rest of the other four people cross the road and they get hit by the vehicle. Maybe some people get away without an injury, or some people are seriously injured. Some people get seriously injured, and maybe there's even a fatality, somebody died. And when you're talking about the incident, you don't expect me to say that all of us made a mistake. You don't expect me to blame all of us, including myself. No, I won't be blaming myself. So when I say Nigerians and I say you people, I say that because from a very long time, we've been preaching a message and telling people this is the right thing to do, this is the right way to go. These are the people you should listen to. And people always preferred the razzmatazz message, the message that comes bloated and padded with money and beamed on national TV, you know, embellished with all kinds of things. And we've always chosen the very simple route. But as you can see clearly, they ignore our messages, they do whatever they want to do, but at the end of the day, what happens? We have done this experiment over and over and over again. In fact, so many times they've said, hey, you people, African Action Congress, you people are futuristic. You're talking about things that are not obtainable now. Guess what? Right now, we are almost entering into prehistoric times. We that were futuristic, and what do I mean by that? I mean that the ideas we put forward, the suggestions we were making, when we were making them in years past, 8 years ago, when we were making these suggestions, people were laughing at us. They said it was unattainable. Now, what needs to happen is 10 times more than what we proposed. Remember when we told you we were going to pay 100,000 naira when the minimum wage was just, I think it was even 15,000. They said we should go and sit down. Today, 100,000 is nothing. Nobody can live on 100,000. So we were correct all the time. We were right from the beginning. And right now we have a candidate for Ondo State. I was a candidate for Enugu State. We've had candidates for so many elections. Our presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, has run 2 times now. And every idea we put forward, they sounded very um, far, very far fetched. They didn't sound like some things that were possible. But look at it now. Everybody's like, oh, if we had known, we wish we had gone with these people. But who is crying? My pain, though, is that when this thing happens, it affects the few good people who knew the right thing to do, who knew the right way to go. They also get affected, you know. But if not, I would have just said, let the people who keep experimenting, uh, let them keep suffering the consequences of their experiments, you know. But I won't, like I said, this interview is not about me talking to us, it's about Kunle Wiseman talking to us. And he is getting his gear ready to join us. But the question is when he comes, when he presents his manifesto, when he tells you the ideas that he has, when he shows you the experience that he's had in the struggle, you know, fighting for the rights of the oppressed. My question is, are you going to listen? Are you going to do the right thing? Or are you going to be as stubborn as usual and always regret in the end? I hope that doesn't happen to you, honestly speaking, because we can't keep doing this over and over again. We come telling you guys what to do, and then you ask, how? How do we know? What do we know? And we reel out experiences that we've had in the past. We reel out things that we've done in the past. We give you evidence, we give you data. You go back, look at videos. We've been there, done that. We have boots on the ground. We don't just talk. We talk the talk and we walk the walk. We have bruises on our body. We have marks to show you what we've done. And yet you stare us in the face and you still go do the wrong thing. And seconds later, few minutes later, the same you will come back crying and say, the funny thing is when you say, oh, what are you guys doing about what is going on? What the hell do you want us to do about what is going on? We told you it was going to happen. Go and see. You guys always come out looking shocked. No, we're not shocked. We told you. So now here's another young man who's been there, done that, coming out again to warn you. This is where you are right now. Like put a mirror before you and saying, this is where you are right now. And this is what you should do. But you know what they say in the Holy Book? It's only a mad person that stands in front of the mirror, looks at themselves in the mirror, then walks away forgetting how they look. That's what's happening to a lot of you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting your time, I'm going to bring in my special guest for today's broadcast. Is the incoming governor of Ondo State, Comrade Kunle Ajayi Wiseman. Your mic is off. I think your mic is off. Okay. I've tried to unmute the mic, but
Yeah,
okay,
my mic is on.
you're good now. Hey, Comrade Wiseman,
How
hi.
about Dr. Chizzy? We're good, Baba. How is Canada?
It's better than Nigeria.
Papa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Comrade.
Yeah, it's good to have you around. It's good to have you around, Comrade. I was just before you came on, I was telling people that great things come in very simple packages, and that people like you've been there, done that, and that you are not a stranger to coming to talk to the people about where they are. We are like a mirror, and it's only a madman who looks at a mirror, sees what they look like, and then when they step outside, they forget what they saw in the mirror. And that seems to be the situation with our country. So, but let me start from there to ask you, what is the state of affairs in Ondo State right now? Well, just paint a picture of what is going on with Ondo State in terms of everything. Just
Doc, I can't hear you.
summary cut across Ondo State. Hello, can you hear me? Okay,
I'm
you're
just
trying.
hearing you now.
Okay, you hear me
Please,
now. Just paint a picture
I
of.
didn't hear the question.
Okay, the question is paint a picture of Ondo State right now. What does Ondo State look like in terms of education, infrastructure, every other thing?
Ondo State is not the Ondo State I grew up to know anymore. We have Ondo State today. I know very much, Dr. Chidi, that as an Enugu State man, growing up, you'd have been hearing of Ondo State of the education. Ondo State used to be number one in education all over Africa. But Dr. Chidi, I can bet it with you, Ondo State of today has over 26,000 out of children. Ondo State of today, with State of today, is not the Ondo State of the past, where education is free, functional, and compulsory. Ondo State of today, not just that education is optional. Education is massively prized out of the reach of the people of Ondo State. And so you have massive puggery, you have massive anti-education antics, you have Ondo State institutional education that for the past 8 years, there is no new public higher institution in Ondo State. You have an Ondo State today that the probability of getting an education is like about 20% or 10%. And that's why you can find that somebody like Omoyele Sowore have been working on scholarship for a very long time. Ondo State of before, a private individual does not need to give people scholarship. It is a must. When Chief Adebayo Adeferati was governor of Ondo State, I was a kid in the secondary school. Myself and Netu Fotomide, who is our Southwest coordinator, were in the same secondary school. As at that time, you must not, as a parent, send your children outside when school children were on ground, when it is time for school. In fact, my deputy governor today, my deputy governorship candidate, Dada Olusoya, his father was our AEO, area education officer. They used to take vans to move around all of the streets to make sure you must go to school. But now, whether you go school or you don't go school, it does not concern government. In fact, they are now even making sure secondary school, primary school, public primary school, public secondary school are 80,000, 70,000, 60,000, 40, all those big money. So, education-wise, Ondo State is a shadow of itself. It's a skeleton. I did a video. We had to fight and fight, issue statements. We had to go online to do a lot of things, social media work, trend, to get the governor to pay 2-year WAEC. So many Ondo State people, students, had to be sending us messages to say thank you for helping us. They were not able to get their WAEC results for the past 2 years. That's one of the most sorry things. In fact, a friend of mine, John Pila, told me that, why is Ondo State not that Ondo State of the old? And I told him, it is because the same neoliberal, greedy gluttons are now in charge of Ondo State. You find a situation whereby you have a secondary school in Alagbaka that is massively dilapidated.
I think maybe because of network, we we seem to have lost him, but you can hear what he's saying there. It's obvious that he is very passionate about education. And from what we heard, Ondo State used to be up there in education and amongst states. But now, according to what we're hearing, education in State is massively priced. Okay, and that for 2 years, people could not get their WAEC exam. I think maybe the state was supposed to pay to WAEC, and maybe they didn't pay. Now, if you want to join us in the studio, I did send a link. Some of you are joining right now, so maybe you didn't see the link, but you can use the studio link to join us in the studio. Click on it, and if you don't have StreamYard, just use your email address to register for StreamYard, and then you can join us in the studio, because I know a lot of you are also helping him out in the campaign. A lot of you are members of the African Action Congress and the Take It Back movement. So you can come on and also speak to what he is talking about. So I'm going to bring him back into the studio. You're welcome back. Your mic is off. Sorry. Your mic.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you have an Ondo State today that for, Ondo South, for close to 20 years, there was no electricity. And how can people go to school without electricity? How can people go to school without educational subsidy? Rufus Giwa Polytechnic at Owo, for the past 8 months, workers have been suffering. Teachers have been suffering. Lecturers have been suffering. The number of students that go to Rufus Giwa Polytechnic have reduced drastically because education is being massively priced away from the reach of the people. So, Doctor, that is the kind of Ondo State that we are in today, not the Ondo State of the past. In fact, in the first 5 education in Nigeria today, my state is no more there. And that was
Okay.
Ondo State. Just in there.
I see that you're dwelling so much on education. Why is this so?
It is because the great Ondo State was built on education. To the extent that Adekunle Ajayi, in his first manifesto, said, we are going to be building Ondo State on economic growth and economic development. But the strategy is going to be based on education. Because you cannot make people productive. You cannot care for the welfare of people without caring about the knowledge of those people. People's knowledge matter far more. Because at the period when government cannot care for everybody, they will be able to care for themselves. So Ondo State was built on education. And with that education, that was the strategy. Adekunle Ajayi built a network of companies where we had Owena Holdings. Despite the fact that Awolowo and Co. had Odu, a group of companies, Ajayi built Owena Holdings. And it was in Owena Holdings that you have Oluwagla.
Sorry, guys. We seem to be having more network issues. Of course, on those.
Ondo Texas.
Oh wow, we're still having network issues. Like I said, this is a Nigerian problem. And someone said Nigerian network has happened to him. So sad. Well, Ondo State is part of Nigeria. And what we're talking about, in fact, Ondo State is just a symptom of a greater country, Nigeria. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Every time we're going to do an interview and someone is joining from Nigeria, this is what we get. So it's really nobody's fault. I understand the stress that comes with trying to join from Nigeria, and so I can accommodate that. There's nothing we can do about it. Okay, there's nothing we can do about it. Okay, I'm gonna bring him back again. Um, someone says, hope the education you're talking about is not just speaking English. The concept of education we have in Nigeria does not bring food to the table in today's world. Um, okay, you're back.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, someone asked, made a quick comment. I'd like you to address that. It says, "Hope the education you're talking about is not just speaking English. That the concept of education we have in Nigeria does not bring food to the table in today's world." So, when you talk about education and building the economy on education, can you expand more on what is your and then after that, we're going to come back to your manifesto so that we'll just hear, in general, what you have as a manifesto for the people.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And I know that it was Samuel Aluko that asked that question. And I sure Aluko should either be Ondo State or Ekiti State.
Mm.
And our forefathers, especially Adekunle Ajayi, did not build education for education's sake. They built education for development's sake. And that was why with the education they built at that time, we were able to have a network of companies that was almost as large as all of the companies that was in the old Odua group of companies. So the education we are talking about is not English, it's not grammar. It's education for economic growth, education for economic development. I hope you get what I'm saying. So it actually brings food to the table. It brought
Good.
Chukwaya Pamphlet. It brought Olua Glass. It brought Ifon Ceramic. It brought Owena Bank. It brought Owena Motors. It brought Ondo Textiles. It brought Ifon Ceramic. It brought Araromi Oboroba Estate. And so when we talk about education, we are not saying that, no, it's not too renty. You understand?
Good, good. I like that. I like that because that answers the question he's talking about. Now let's go to your manifesto. Uh, summarize for us what you are bringing to the table as the next governor of Ondo State.
Yes, my manifesto is built on 2 pillars. And it is purely an adaptation of the manifesto of the African Action Congress, AAC, which was jointly done by the political party, which some of us also made contributions to. And the manifesto is on collective wealth and collective welfare. What do we mean? As it is today, all of these companies and industries that Ondo State Education, through Adekunle Ajayi, was able to build, has been destroyed by this small mantra, which was the mantra that was taken from those economists of the late 90s who started the position that government has no business in business. And we have seen a situation whereby all of the major companies, major industries have been privatized. So our manifesto is saying that Nigerian wealth has been turned to individual wealth. What we are now saying is that we want collective wealth, which is the first bulk of my manifesto. And to get collective wealth, our manifesto is saying that we are going to rebuild the Owena Holdings. We are not only going to get back to Pan PLC, we are going to expand it. We are going to get Olua Glass back, before Ceramic, Araromi Oboroba Estate as massively as possible. We are going to be building the Ondo bitumen in such an ambitious manner. We are going to be building what Baba Ajayi wanted to build that time with the cocoa in Ondo and Idori. And we're going to be starting with what we call the Dore Chocolate Factory. Aside that, we are also going to be building Ondo Textiles back again. I was happy when Dangote was talking about the Ondo Textiles. That used to be the best in the whole of the country. Where is Ondo Textiles again? It's been killed. We're going to be reviving that. And we're not going to be reviving it because it's not a rocket science thing. I've gone around the whole of the state, seen private enterprises. Most of them are being done by just few money. So what we are going to do now, as it is to bring back all of those companies and build a collective wealth such that all of Ondo State people would have the kind of wealth that they will be so proud of, and we will use to fund the next pillar, which is collective welfare. And with our collective welfare, advanced healthcare at all levels, mother and child destroyed. I'm going to advance it. And we want mass house. There are too many people that are internally displaced in Ondo State as it is today. They are going to build Ondo State massive physical infrastructure. See, our dream of Ondo State. Ondo State.
There are more network issues there, but he was talking about bringing back all the old industries that made Ondo State what it was before, textile industry and so many other industries, ceramic industry. Okay, it's back now.
And so in terms of collective welfare, we are going to make sure that we build Ondo State's physical infrastructure in a way that everybody will be proud of it. And we gave this position. It's simple. Many people come with the excuse that it's a federal road. But for me, your internal architecture matters as a state because it opens up that state. Ondo State is a very beautiful state. There is a U format in terms of road network. All the way from Akoko to Akure, it's a U. It's used in a U format. To Ondo, to Ore, to Igbokoda, to Oktupa, to Igbokoda. But it's just a one-laner and very tiny road. We are not going to mind when we become governor of Ondo State. We are going to make that road a double laner in a 6-6 format. What it means by 6 format is that each of the lanes will be able to at least capture 6 vehicles. With that, we have opened up Ondo State road infrastructure. Then on water, we started with what we call the New Amsterdam Plan. We adapted it from Holland, from today's Amsterdam in Holland, that we are going to build on water because we learned this from the advocacy we did for Ayetoro in Ilaje. Ayetoro used to be the happy city in Ilaje, one of the greatest cities that was built on water in Nigeria. It was self-built, communally built, but it's been destroyed and eroded today. So the lesson we learned from Ayetoro is that you can build a society on water and it will still be eroded in no time. Why? Because we studied it and discovered that it was the environmental destruction.
Yeah, once again, sorry for the glitches. It will be able to come back and continue when the network is strong enough. You all know how it is. Doing anything from Nigeria is a huge project. Just coming to use the internet to be part of a program is a project. It's probably running the generator. So many things are going on there. Internet connection, just so many things. What you take for granted if you're in another place where those things are not an issue. But I know very well that it is not easy for you to just do something as simple as being live on a program on the internet. Depending on where you are, it could be something you don't even think about. You just do it. Actually, you do video calls on your regular phone line. I know a lot of people, if you hear this, you're surprised. Yes, you don't need to go through, you don't need to even have a data to do video calls. Like, I can speak about where I live in Toronto. Right from your direct call, you can make video calls. You can do a lot of things. So it has its own inbuilt data, as it were. But I know in Nigeria, if you're there are probably like two, three phones. You try this network, it's bad. You go to another network, okay, it's good, but it doesn't last long. You go to another network. That is the situation in Nigeria. And Ondo State, as you know, is a state in Nigeria. So Ondo State is not it's not any different. It's funny. Like when we say Nigeria, people think Nigeria is different. And then all the locations in Nigeria are different too. But guess what? There is no Nigeria. There is no separate place called Nigeria. Nigeria is made up of all the states. So if anything happens in Nigeria, it didn't happen in Nigeria. It happened in a locality. So all the problems you see about Nigeria, they are not things that happen maybe in Abuja or Lagos. There are things that happen in individual small locations in Nigeria, small localities. It is a collective of all that you now say, oh, this is Nigeria. Okay, so what you're seeing happening to him in terms of network connection, that is just um, a small example of what happens uh, with with uh, with the bigger Nigeria. Okay. Um, I wish it will resolve his network thing and join us. He was making some valid points there. He saw his manifesto, not based on so many things, just two basic principles. Collective wealth. When he's talking about our wealth now being in the hands of individuals, our collective wealth has become personal wealth. I remember when I was talking about selling off Nigeria's, like the companies, the banks, the oil blocks, you know, people didn't understand. Now they've sold everything, everything, and it is in the hand of individuals. Look at the president of Nigeria right now. He's one of the people that are just going ahead and owning the country, buying up the whole country, even right down to our oil. Him and his family. That's where we are right now. Sonny Edupolo, I see you. I see you. Like I said before, anybody that wants to come on, this is the link. I'm posting the link right now. You can use this link if you want to join me backstage. Okay, use that link and join. So, but yes, we're here talking with the governorship candidate of AAC, Kunle Wiseman Ajayi, who was just rolling out his manifesto. When he comes back, we're just gonna have him for a little more while so that we don't keep having these interruptions. Okay. Um, Interruptions. Okay, I'm bringing him back. Okay. Okay, you're back. Sorry about all
Very
the.
sorry.
No, no, no,
They
no.
have kept the
See,
little in darkness for over 15 years now.
no,
And
no. See, before you came on, there is no reason to apologize at all. The fact I keep telling people, when I see someone, even it's a project for you to be on this program now. It's a project. There's probably the fuel involved, maybe generator involved, data involved, this light involved. It's just to make it simple. And I was telling somebody, this is something you just pick up a phone here and you just do it without thinking. You understand? But in Nigeria, to prepare for it ahead of time, and this small thing, how much it will cost, it's unbelievable. Just to be able to do this 1 hour interview. So you can't. Why are you apologizing? You're not the person. You're not the person that's responsible for the bad electricity, for the scarcity of fuel, for bad road infrastructure. To move from where you were, I heard you guys were in an interview or so, a meeting. To move from there to here, that one too would have been a lot of logistics. So I get it. I get it. Nothing to apologize about. You were talking about your manifesto and you are getting to
Yes,
the collective.
about the Amsterdam plan,
Yeah.
which we plan to, I was talking about our physical infrastructure, had
Yeah.
explained what we'll do with the U format road infrastructure,
Yes.
which would open up Ondo State, from Akoko to Igbokoda. And then I'm talking about the water, because the coastal area in Ondo State is the biggest wet area, abundant wet. And so the lesson I've gotten from Amsterdam is to build a rail so that what happened in Ayetoro will not be happening. Segun Agagu, our former governor, did a one-laner and had to do dredgings. That dredging now is affecting that coastal area because it's against the environment. It destroys water environment. So the lesson from Amsterdam is that you don't need to dredge. Just build a rail line up, and each of the towns on water will be connected. And let me tell you something very specifically about this. That while I was talking about this, and people thought it was a dream, our own leader, our national leader, Omoyele Sowore, has started it practically in Kiribo. He's building a wharf bridge, a forward bridge, just with, he didn't use the iron that we talked about because he doesn't have the way, just an individual person. He's using wood to build a wharf, opening up Kiribo to the small wharf that is there. And that's just an individual. On top that small wharf now, you build hostels, build bars, build other people. That Kiribo will not be very much alive again. And that same Kiribo has a commissioner. That same Kiribo has a governorship candidate who was a deputy governor, who was also a commissioner, who was a chair. And they feel that doing all of these things is rocket science. But what we're trying to do, that we talk about master after that plan, so we're not quickly start his own. He has started his own in Kiribo. So that it will be very easy for us. We won't do plenty wahala to link up from Araromi Beach. You know that beach you find in Lagos, Ondo State has a larger beach. The Araromi Beach in Ondo State is larger than the Lagos beach. So to connect from Araromi Beach down to Arogo, you connect also to Mahi, connect to Ugbo, connect to Igbegurin. These are rails. Then it's no rocket science, no big deal. These are the things we are talking about, physical infrastructure. And then I gave a classical example of the Ibom airline. Ondo State deserves what we call in our manifesto the Oyemeko airline, where we'll be running our own airline. As at then, Adekunle Ajayi ran a motor line that was one of the best in the country. So this is what we want to do in terms of physical infrastructure. We've spoken about social infrastructure, healthcare, education, at all levels. We've spoken about mass housing. We've spoken about supporting the small and medium enterprises. I work with, and I still work with Federation of Informal Workers Organization of Nigeria. And they have the best ideas in terms of working with SMEs. Even when Mimiko was governor, he said it in one of the programs that it's easier to borrow poor people, market women money, than to borrow rich people. So for us, as a government, we are going to be interested in large business, in the biggest business, because we own the biggest capital. But for the small and medium enterprises, we are going to constantly, just like what the Chinese government usually do, seriously support small business. So our interest is simple. We are supporting small business, and as a government, we are going to be doing government business and large business. So the summary of our manifesto, which is in collecting wealth, is that we're going to be building industries. The government is going to be very seriously interested in business, so that we can continue to use that to sustain collective welfare, education, healthcare, housing, And what have you?
All right, see, I like the fact that it's very simple, it's very simplified, built on two pillars. And once you get it right, every other thing is right. Now, let me talk about the politics of Ondo State and how who has been there, what is going on, how have they been through the years making the people get it wrong, and what are you doing to make sure that this time around the people get it right? Because there's been so much. Ondo State has been in the news so much, all the political manipulations in Ondo State.
Yes, Ondo State is in a mess today because the neoliberalists, the greedy hawks, have taken over the politics of Ondo State. Before, it used to be people with the best ideas, people with the best integrity, people with the best dignity. But just like in Lagos, the hawks, those who have done former nayas, several people in corrupt, greedy this thing, those who have stolen before, are now the ones determining the politics of Ondo State. So it's really, really, really bad. And in Ondo State before, they won't even do that to the governorship level. You find a situation whereby somebody like Adeprati was governor, who had a very high profile, and some integrity. Even when we say he didn't perform in terms of he didn't build business, he was waiting for government allocation, federal government allocation. I couldn't do anything in terms of education, healthcare, and what have you. You also have Olusegun Agagu, who is one of the best thinkers you can have. But he was a thinker for neoliberalism. He was a thinker for the oppressor. You understand? But he was a very great brain. And then you have Olusegun Mimiko, who was a comrade. He was a former comrade. You get it? But a philanthropist even within the bourgeois circles. And so was a thinker. And then you have Akeredolu, who was NBA chairman, who was also a collaborator with the military. When people like Showore, Baba Ayi, and all of them were fighting the military, people like Akeredolu were collaborating with the military. Oduni, they were serving as commissioners. In fact, Akeredolu was Attorney General under the military. You get it? But he became NBA president, and one of the most vibrant, of NBA presidents you can talk about. But currently, that you see, the so-called frontliners were deputy governors of Akeredolu, Agbola Ajayi, and Lucky Olimsaye that were these two persons. I can tell you, that's why they are afraid of debates. Now they are working everything to make sure I'm not in the debates. They want it to be a debate between the two of them, and it's just like a debate between 6.5 and 7. So you find these two persons intellectually not there at all. Their thinking faculty can't build the state. And you could see that where a governor was building a small fence, rebuilding a small fence with 775 million. I was not even thinking of what would happen, what the backlash could be. You find Agbola Ajayi, who had been House of Rep, deputy governor, and all of that, and Iribo, his hometown, could not even be linked with national grid. These elements are even afraid of debating. So in terms of the politics of Ondo State as it is today, it is a politics that is being taken away from the thinkers. You get it? And handed over to the hawks, packaged hawks. And so that is why we are important in this status quo. That is why Irapada Ondo is very important. And I dare say it. There's no more those who are contesting today as it is. Who can debate with us? They are afraid. They are already conniving with Walking Baloye and the Channel TV to make sure we are out of this thing. Already it's been fixed for November 3rd, and they don't want us to be part of it.
You see,
not even doing anything online to ask people who are those that should debate. Because these persons, you need to see their manifesto. It's nothing.
But you see, let me tell you this. People might be wondering, because the group of people you represent, like you said before, is the masses. That's your constituency, not the bourgeois, not the political class, but just the masses, the people whose wealth has been taken away from them, and handed over to individual pockets. Now, but one will be wondering how do you sorry. Um I just want to give people a little uh glimpse into your past activities when it comes to standing for the people. Like, what have you been involved in? I know there's been so many of them, but just what is it that you've been involved in on the side of the people that gives you a bragging right to say, look, I understand the people, I've fought with them, I've been on their side. Like let's hear one or two of those things.
Yeah, let me start that as a kid. I lived with my grandfather, who was a three-time counselor under Action Group and youth then. So I understand social welfare very seriously. I went ahead to start practicalizing that as a primary to secondary school student. I was class captain. Stood with my friends. You can ask my classmates. Noisemakers, all those things. I would tell the teacher, no, we are not making noise. We are discussing. When you come to our class, concentrate. Nobody will disturb you. So I stood with my classmates. They kept voting for me over and over as class captain, over and over till we got to SS3. And then when I was in SS3, SS2, we started the Student Representative Council. I was the one who mobilized all over the different schools, Stella Maris College, Methodist High School. My friends, Awole Samuel in Stella Maris. One of them is even having his birthday today, Tomola Adekoyi. We mobilized everybody to be part of social, for Student Representative Council because we felt that the choosing of captain of prefect then were being biased. And it happened to me finally when I was in SS3. I wasn't part of the prefects, but students voted for me as the president of the press club. So and I was like the pseudo senior prefect as at that time. Apologies to my friend who was also the senior prefect, Kumi Adelo Kiki, and who we are very good friends today, who is also like an activist. So aside that, I went to the university at the Obafemi Awolowo University in Mayfair. I was secretary Angola Hall, voted as secretary Angola Hall. From there, I became editor-in-chief of Liberation Now, which is the Congress of Progressive Youths, where I edited about 4 or 5 campus media. We talk of Kengbe Satire, we talk of Voice of Reason, we talk of Campus Anchor. I was also an editor with the Icons. I was also editor of a lot of other writers. So I was suspended as a part 2 student because I was secretary of Angola. I later became acting chairman. I stood with the student union because against Professor Michael Faborode, who was our vice chancellor then. And I told them that you cannot ostracize the student union because we are asking for light, we are asking for water, which is a basic necessity. And we are saying that you should not commercialize education. So I was suspended from 2007, came back to school in 2008 with intervention of my parents, Bishop Ogunele, Shegwaga, who was also my father's friend as a governor then. And then at the point in time, I continued with what I was doing. Became national coordinator of the Socialist Youth League, which Copy transformed to become, and was mobilizing all over the campuses to support it. But I can't forget, in the University of Abuja then, there was no student union. We mobilized down there to make sure that they had a student union. And that's why you had the emergence of people like Pelumi Olajengbesi, who became president of the student union, and a lot of that. And it was from there that students all over the country chose me as the acting convener of Coalition of Left and Progressive Students. I graduated from being a student because it took me 10 years to finish a 4-year course. Because I had already finished, but the management held on to my results. They released me in 2011. They allowed me to go to NYC in 2014, but backdated my results in 2011. And even while they did that, I still went to the NYC. I served the same place Yele Shure served at Yola, and participated seriously in a lot of communal relations, communal service, building youths, till I transferred to Ondo State and in current day area in Benin. And you can ask my friend, Mrs. Kola, and a lot of them, how I participated in building workers' relations, like in leading the resistance of the youth employment scheme. You remember then when Ondo State was under Oshomale, where he threw away over 5,000 workers, and he said they were casual workers. And I started my article. You can read my articles on Oshomale and Ondo State, where I spoke against the state casualization of employment, and which is which was happening randomly under the ACN then, which later became APC. You know, you had the OES in Osun State, Aregbesola. You had YESO in your state. You had OES too in Ondo State and all of that places. We fought against it. We stood very valiant, very strongly to say that this, and I chronicled all of these activities in my article on Oshomole, which I did. Is published, is popular, which I said the rise and fall of a labor leader. From there, I came to Lagos. On getting to Lagos, I joined my partner, Barrister Ayodele. I started mobilizing. We started the youth against austerity, which I became convener. Ayo was secretary. And we're almost doing like a 3-person, 4-person protest every time. But at those protests, you have DSS, police, all of them. We were mobilizing, kept mobilizing till I became UAD General Secretary. In 2016, when I was UAD General Secretary, there was the two-face protest. And when the two-face protest was coming, the Enough is Enough, led by Yemi Ademolekun, made Two-Face the ambassador. We knew what it was, how it was going to end. So for us, we started, because in UAD then, there was a position I lost in the executive of UAD on whether we should join that protest or we should lead that protest. So having lost out, I said, okay, I'm suspending myself as secretary and I'm going to join. And we formed Movement Against Austerity. And with that, we were able to join the two-face protest. And we made Omoyele Sowore our own ambassador. And that was the first time that I had public oration from Omoyele Sowore, though I met him quite earlier, which I don't think he remembered. But it was in 2016 that we met, where we mobilized with Enough is Enough. And he said, I can't forget that statement, that the only way to go for Nigeria is revolution. That was his most major statement, because it was like a 3-minute oration. And from there, we started building in Lagos State. We've led, and I'm happy the video came out today again, the NSAS first protest in 2017. I had the privilege, and I'm very thankful to Soyaolu Juwon and Femi Adeyeyi, who came to drag me out of my office at Ogba, where I was trying to make a career with labor movement then, as the organizing secretary, national organizing secretary of Automobile, Butcher, Transport Equipment and Allied Senior Staff Association, Autobate. So I was in charge of the whole secretariat. But Femi and Juwon said, oh, comrade, it's not this office that you are going to be, we are going outside. And I had the chance to lead that protest, the first major protest in 2017. And from then, we started leading more protests. I joined Take It Back in 2018, and I've been part of the Social Workers League as an editor. So we kept mobilizing till I became a state chair of the African Action Congress, and also the coordinator of Take It Back in Lagos, where evidentially now can show we built the largest political party branch of the African Action Congress, and it still be sustained till today. And I remember in 2019, when Omoyele Sowore was arrested on August 10th, that night, I was also billed to be arrested, but I escaped, you know. And that night, I had to issue a statement. We can arrest you, but we're going to continue with our actions. And I'm happy, Dr. Chidi, you are one of our backbones since then. We led that mass action on August 5. I don't know, by all lucks, I wasn't arrested. A lot of my comrades were arrested. Plenty of my colleagues. It was like a beating galore. It was like a war zone. And we just won clothes for close to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. We fought till we got everybody out. And for the next 6 months, we were leading the Free Sowore struggles, you know, alternating with a lot of building branches all over the country. We moved to Abuja. We were sleeping on the floor, doing a lot of things till we fought till on to 24th of December 2019 and got Omoyele Sowore out. Then we continued, kept building over and over. I've been involved in a lot of actions. When we were talking about the right to self-determination of the Biafra, some of us stood and have been standing with Biafra. And it doesn't mean that we are standing without criticism. No. We were saying, no, you can do it in a different way, but you have the right to self-determination. Because for us, it is Biafra that is being oppressed, and Biafra is not the aggressor. And I can't forget when Sowore was making sure that MNK, Mazina Bikanu, was not secretly tried. I was also part of the community. I was part of that mobilization and agitation. And I can't forget, I was shot at the back in Abuja High Court. And luckily, I survived. But since then, I'll keep fighting. Because for me, it's about the battle to win. And here in Ondo State, in 2018, while we were on our campaign all over the country, at Makurdi, I can't forget, so I said, Comrade, what are we doing about this, our electricity in Ondo State? I said, there are people mobilizing. He said, it's in connection with them. You are the General Secretary of United Nations for Democracy. What are you going to do? I led the first major protest at Ore. August 1st, 2018, Let There Be Light protest. It became a large protest that spread all across Ondo South. Okitipupa, Igbokoda, Irele, Igbekebo, Igbobini, Kiribo, everywhere. And it's one of the largest network of protests ever in the history of Ondo South, and probably Ondo State generally. So since then, I've been mobilizing across the state. Then we've been standing, and I handed over as Lagos State Chair, a very proud manner, with one of a very large political party, which is still be sustained today by my successors, and moved back to Ondo State to contest. The first time I contested, I lost at the primaries because we had somebody who was not part of our party. But you know, at that time, we were battling with those who wanted to take over our party. So it was a free chance for a lot of fifth columnists to come into the party and try to commercialize our party. I lost 57 votes, and head high, we kept on mobilizing. We marched down to the local government election, where I can't forget, we were rigged out everywhere. We were rigged in Kiribo, we were rigged in Ajagba, rigged in Irele, rigged in Ikoya, rigged in Ondo town, the two Ondos, where we contested for chairmanship. In a lot of other places, we were rigged in Owo. But we kept on marching. We kept on mobilizing. And in terms of writing, I have employed all my power to put my writings in the service of the people of Nigeria. Everybody can go and check my articles, Kunle Wiseman Ajayi online. I've always been writing in support of the masses. I'm one of the first persons that wrote about Naira devaluation. You know, taking up the position that if they devalued Naira, it was going to get to 1,000 Naira. And there's a popular video where I went to a symposium in Gwagwalada and spoke specifically on Naira devaluation and predicted that the day Naira is fully devalued, it's going to get to 1,000 Naira. Today, it's about 1,700. I've written also a lot on subsidy. My 3 books of poems, I've written 3 books of poems because I was supposed to be, you know, Soyinka is one of my mentors. I wanted to beat Soyinka to become a Nobel laureate. So no one knows what can happen in the future. But I wrote my first book of poems in 2008 alongside Tawo Thompson. It's titled I Will Write a Poem. In 2013, I wrote This Pit House Will Fall. And August 2013. In 2020, during the lockdown, I was living at Omoyele Shore's apartment in Waring Park in Abuja. And in 5 days and 5 nights, I wrote one of the books that got nominated, Lockdown, Voyaging the Pandemic Days. You know, it's one of the books that also predicted the NSAS revolt, and it happened. So I've dedicated all my articles, all my works, all my writings, all my adult life to fighting for the people of Nigeria. And recently, when in Ondo State there was a constitutional crisis, and the APC was trying to force their will on the constitution of Ondo State, force their will on the people of Ondo State, we stood. I'm one of those who orchestrated it. And we got our leader, Omoyele Sowore, to come to Ondo State to lead an action. At the end of the day, we got him, luckily, Aiyedatiwa, as the governor, the substantial governor. He himself, and many of those who were lackeys that are running around with him today, they were running under their father's house. They were running under their father's bedroom. They couldn't even take any action. They couldn't even take any position against the Akeredolu family. But we stood, and we won that seat for them. They offered us things after, but we said no, because we knew that they were going to get worse when they got to government. Because for us, we don't fight on behalf of the people. We fight alongside the people. And like I used to tell people, I am here not just on a rescue mission, but for me, it is a contest for alternatives. It is a contest for the oppressed. It is a contest for the masses. It is a contest for the people of Ondo State. And that's why we are asking specifically from the state government, go and return the farms of the Oluwa Forest Reserve people that was illegally taken away by the Akeredolu government. Return it to the farmers. Many people have died in that farm. Many people have committed suicide. Many people are suffering. Return that to the people. Then save Ayetoro. Ayetoro is being destroyed today because of flood, because of environmental insanity that was imposed by the multinational companies. We know that you cannot do every other thing because you are not a revolutionary socialist like us. But we are asking, basically, return the farms to Oluwa Forest farmers. Save Ayetoro. It's the larger people. It's not just about Ayetoro. It's about all of us. Look at the flood that is happening in Ondo town. Do you believe that on that day that it's happening, the governor of the state was there? You get it? Until today, there is no plan. There's no plan to make sure that that flood does not happen again. That's a small bit.
Well, I know there are so many things that you didn't even touch. There's just so many. You've been involved in so many struggles. I remember when, particularly, I remember that incident where the state government had raised a group that was in the NSAS era, and I think it was a counter group, and there was this lady who was doing, I think it was a blog or something, and they had to bring two of you to hold like a debate.
Yeah, it was at after the Lekki massacre. It was after
Yes,
the Lekki. We
yes,
led her out at the Alausa barricade.
yes,
In the
yes,
end.
yeah,
Basically, Alausa barricade, we were two major leaders, myself and Juwon Sonyaolu. Juwon used to lead the congresses in the morning. I used to lead the congresses in the evening. So while they were attacking people in Lekki, because we already sent a signal to them, having information, but our comrades in Lekki, because of their inexperience, we didn't prepare enough. We didn't say that. I'm not saying that if they had even prepared that there wouldn't be a massacre, but we averted it at Alausa, because I was secretary to a 33-person committee, and it was from that committee that we were able to scuttle all of what the soldiers wanted to do. In fact, you could see it at the panel. They were remorse when the head of the panel, this woman that was the head of the panel, asked them that what about Alausa, what happened? They couldn't answer because they knew that we defeated them at Alausa. Although sadly, and in memory of our comrades, we lost 2 persons that we know at Alausa. We don't even know their names today, but we knew at that time that there was a loss of 2 persons in that night, because we almost killed that night. But while we fought back the soldiers at Alausa, and we evacuated all the protesters that same night. After the Lekki massacre, they didn't want anybody to do anything about it and all the rest, but we mobilized them. Punch newspaper had a Punch live debate on the Lekki massacre, and I was meant to face Alabi Opeyemi. They call him Small But Mighty. He's a sponsored element by the APC in Lagos. He came with vans, with buses, with guys. They were well filled. They were afraid. They didn't know that they were not afraid. They were confident. They didn't know that we were going to come. But myself and Proficient, we had to go down because we were mobilizing all over Lekki when we heard that the debate was coming. But I had to come in, rush a lot of things, use this. I can't forget that jacket. Proficient had to give me a jacket. This clothes, where you wear, no fire reach. Take this jacket. So I had to jacket. It was Proficient that was with me. And then 2 other ladies now came to join us, Bolanle, Tajudin, and one other person, and Christiana. They came to join us, and it was beautiful. So you need to see what we did, debating these elements. They threatened my life.
I watched it live. There's someone in the studio. We're almost done with you, but there's someone in the studio. Fully blind. You have to turn on your video so that I don't know if you have a question, because we just wanted to hear another person interact with us. So Folly Blind Lie, if you can turn on your video or just turn on your mic. If you have a question, if you have a contribution, let's hear from you. Can you hear me, Folly?
Yes, Dr. Sheed, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Westman,
Holy B,
well done, sir.
nice to hear your voice again, brother.
Yes, I really salute you. Yeah, I just joined the, what's it called? The conversation. So I've not been listening in to what my comrade has been saying, but I trust what my comrade can actually say because we share the same mindset. We know what we are doing. We are revolutionaries and we believe with people like him, Nigeria has somewhere to go. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You just came to confirm all he has been saying. Finally, comrade, it's not cheap to run a campaign and to run against the kind of people that we're running. I just want you to, and please don't be shy about this. Let us know how your campaign, what are the platforms through which your campaign can be supported. If you have account details, please share it with us. Let's know how your campaign is raising funds because, yeah,
Yes, we have an account detail which I will send to you. Please, you help us to display it.
yes, please.
Yes, it's the party account that we've been using. We have been running a very poor campaign all the while. We have been struggling seriously to mobilize, but that confidence that we want our ideas to reach the people, want our ideas to be the alternative, has been the main reason why we have been running our campaign without fear or favor. So our campaign has been going on, despite that we do not have the necessary finances. Yet these people are afraid that these guys don't even have the money. How come they are being hard? How come they are able to mobilize? We are well-breasted revolutionaries. So we are calling on Nigerians, Ondo State people, sponsor our campaign. Don't think that it is because it is close to the election. Biblically, the whole earth was created in a week. So we have shown that we have the best alternative. We have the best ideas. We have shown that we have the best manifesto. And we have shown real courage. We have shown that we are the only one that can bring the real alternative to the table. We are far better. We are far better than either Nokia Aiyetiwa or Agbola Ajayi or both APC and PDP. And that's why they are afraid of debating us. So we want to make sure our ideas get to every nook and corners of Ondo State. That is why we are calling on all Ondo State people to please donate to us. It's our GTB account, is the African Action Congress GTB 0425888778 0425888778. That's our GTB account.
Wait, hold on. Let me repeat it. It's GTB account 04.
04
Uh-huh.
25
Mm-hmm.
888
Mm-hmm.
778.
Okay. It's the African Action Congress, right?
AAC. The
Okay.
parties are. Please support us, and we are going to be as accountable as possible because us, our national leader is always accountable. And with the little that we have had, we have already been giving them tensions. And I also want to raise this, Dr. Chidi, that the state governor is not happy and has reported us to almost everybody in the state with a lot of threats and promises to take us down because of the way we have been exposing them. We're the ones who exposed that they are using 775 million to rebuild a small fence. We exposed them that they are using $1 billion to build gates. We exposed them that they are using 31 billion to run a new judiciary complex. And unfortunately, one learned son, who I don't know how he got his son, who is the Attorney General of the state, is saying that the judiciary complex will help the state growth and development. I don't know how that will happen, whether they are going to be building industries and what have you. So The judiciary complex is just going to be a building. How many people will it employ? So we have been the only persons who have been taking these people. And at the Dome, when we had Peace and Security Summit, I was able to come out openly and courageously to tell them the fact as it is. And since then, they have been threatening us, threatening to take us down, threatening to attack us, threatening to kill us, and what have you, both directly and indirectly. That day, immediately after we finished at Dome, the governor sent his thugs to attack me outside, even when he was still inside the Dome. Luckily, I was weeks away by both my comrades and the PIOP candidate. We are not afraid, as you know. We have conquered fear for long periods, but we need the masses of Ondo State people to know
All right.
that Lucky Aiyedatiwa does not want me.
All right. I want to know if you're really a son of the soil. I want you to address your people in your language so they know that this one has not been too yes.
Tó dédé àkókò mo mà kí dédé yẹn ọ̀nà dànrè ìfẹ́dọ̀rẹ́ mo kí dédé yẹn àwọn tèmi o a máa pé ní Ondo níbẹ̀ yìí à ń fọ pé Ondo náà gidi jo.
You see, when he started talking in his people's language, they knocked him off. Folly, you see what I'm seeing?
that is Nigerian for you, sir.
Wow. No, we will not give up. We will pray that he comes back, because he must be able to address the people in the language they understand. I like to see that someone is not just campaigning, just for campaigning's sake, but that is somebody who is rooted with his people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's what I wanted for him to demonstrate. And he already started doing that very well, but incidentally, it went off.
In fact, if not because of the electionary problem in Nigeria, these are the kind of serious-minded people that Nigeria actually needed to govern the space, because that space is already being hijacked by the criminals. People ruling Nigeria presently, and most of them are cowards. They are people who doesn't really care about others, selfish people. They are just believing going to governance is just for their pulse and their family alone. So we are in mess. The country is in mess. But we believe with what we are doing presently, we'll go to somewhere. It's only we don't need to relax. We'll continue pushing till we get it right.
But Folly, can I tell you something? I don't agree with you that these people are cowards. Can I tell you why? These people are very, very... A coward is somebody who is he doesn't have the balls, he doesn't have the boldness to do some things, right? These people are not cowards. These people, in fact, I am shocked at the capacity with which they do what they do right now. The magnitude of corruption that these people do. They are not cowards. They can.
Dr. Shidi, I won't lie to you. We give them that space. We are not. The problem is Nigerians are not more active when it comes to governance. If we activate our activeness today, most of them will run away. That's why I call them cowards.
Yeah, I know. Of course, I was just trying to spin it around. They are brave people in a negative way. So, Comrade Wiseman, please unmute yourself.
Yes. Thank you so much. Just conclude with my talking to my people in that language. That's the language I understand the most in this world.
Please go ahead.
mo kí àrògbò òjọ́, mo kí dédé àníyàn mi náà dìgbò, mo kí yan ní ìfẹ́dọ̀rẹ́, mo kí yan ní ìdànrè, mo kí yan ní òkè igbó, mo kí yan ní Oǹdó, mo rò tùtù, mo kí yan ní òkè mẹ́kùn Àkúrẹ́, mo mà kí yan o, mo kí yan lọ́ọ̀rọ̀ àtèmi náà rọ̀, you know, thank you so much ọ̀wọ̀, mo kí yan ní dédé àkókò dédé ọ̀gbàgì Ìkàrẹ́ Ìrùn, mo kí yan ọba, mo kí dédé yan o yí afẹ́sẹ̀ yìí a máa ro fi Dékúnlé yètò yìí ó jọ ọmọ kékeré jù ajẹ́dá ro níbo yí bàbá jásí bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe oṣẹ́ biribiribiribiri ní state yìí as the head of the Ọ̀wọ̀ district èjù èjì yìí àwọn ará yìí lọ ajẹ́dá dìbò wọn ọmọ yẹn Kúnlé Àjàyí àti Dàda Olúsànyà ti ẹgbẹ́ àsíá African Action Congress jábá ti go dédé ìbò yàrá ti gómìnà lọ sọ̀rọ̀ àárín yóò ká mẹ́rin pé ọwọ́ méjì àgbájọwọ́ ìyẹn Músànyà ni ọjà ìdìbò ní ènìyàn wa jọ o torí pé ìdí yìí abáfíjà ìdìbò ń wa ni pé àkàkàpọ̀rọ̀ yẹn fi jẹ́ ìdìbò kó ṣe bẹ̀ tó bá ti ahọ́ bẹ̀ pèlè ìgbẹ̀jọ yẹn pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nílẹ̀ yìí bẹ́yìn 10,000 20,000 yẹn àfàfẹ́ pẹ̀lú yẹn ìmàlẹ̀ tí wọ́n ní kọ́ ní sọ̀bẹ̀ ọbẹ̀ ju ọjọ́ kan lọ àbí ọjọ́ méjì ṣùgbọ́n tó bá dìbò ń wa dídí ọdún mẹ́rin yẹn wé nítorí ká fi ọbẹ̀ nù kàn wá tó ká gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ènìyàn jẹ nítorí pé a fẹ́ dá Olúwa gíláàsì padà a fẹ́ dá OPC padà a fẹ́ dá Ìkọ́sẹ̀dámi padà àárọ̀ mi ògùn rọ́bà estate Ondo Texas a fẹ́ dá dédé àwọn kọ́ńpìnì yàrá jẹ́ pé amúṣẹ́ wá ṣé ṣe pé ènìyàn olè olóòtú olóògùn tí lòṣèlú rẹ̀ àjọ ká pé wọ́n náírà pé títí náà pé ìpìlẹ̀ pé kọ́bọ̀ wọn ènìyàn wa àjọ àwọn àdìbò ń wá o Ondo Ẹ̀gbí àwọn àdìbò ń wá o Àkókó ẹ dìbò fún wa Àkúrẹ́ Olóyè Mẹ́kùn ẹ dìbò fún wa à ń bẹ gbogbo yín ní gbogbo Ondo State ìbò wa ẹ dìbò yín fún ìràpadà kájọ lówó kájọ lọ́lá kájọ láyọ̀. Thank you so much, Dr. Chidi.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade Kunle Wiseman. Thank you so much. It's good to have you here. Someone was asking me if they could ask questions, and I said yes. I am still waiting for the question. So please, if you can ask your question quickly before we let our guests go, because it's not easy to run a campaign. I know as soon as he leaves here, there's a lot of things, even though it's late, but there's so much planning to be done. I know. But please, I want to beg you guys, I want to beg everybody. It doesn't matter. We don't have a war chest. Those who are on the side of the people, even you can see the situation in the country right now. The masses don't have money. The masses are the poorest. So it's not like we have a big war chest. But if we can all get a little trickle into that container, it will go a long way to at least give us an opportunity to be able to speak when these guys are speaking. If left to them, they don't want us to have a voice. They don't want us to be seen. They don't want us to be visible. But thank goodness that with a little data, with a little money for gas, we can move around. We can stand where they don't expect us to stand. We can show up where they don't want us to show up. Yes, even if they don't have us on debates. What I say right now is this: let them do their debates. If they exclude us, we can self-publish, and we are able to publish. But even publishing needs data to be able to do that on social media. We can trend, we can do things on Twitter. This particular video, we're going to spread it around, and people will get to see what the candidate stands for. But please, I beg you, contribute to the GTB account, GTB bank account on your screen, 0425888778. It is the official bank account of the African Action Congress. So this is not a personal account. Your money will be used for what you meant for it to be used for. So thank you so much, Comrade Foley, for joining us, and Comrade Kunle Wiseman, keep doing what you're doing. There is, like I told you before, there is nothing to be apologetic about. We have spread the news. We continue to spread the news. We told people yesterday about what they are regretting today. We told them yesterday. And if today you're speaking to them and they make the wrong choice, they will have themselves to blame, not you. Thank you so much, Comrade. And for every other person. No, we can't hear you. We can't. Okay, now we can hear you now. No, we can't hear you.
Unmute yourself, Wiseman.
Mm. No.
Unmute yourself.
No. His
We
mic
can't
is
hear
not.
you.
Maybe you need to go out and come back. Oh, I don't know. We can't hear you. Maybe just go out and come back. Yeah. Okay. Before he comes back, Folly, just one last comment for our viewers and our comrades.
All right. Thank you very much. I think Nigerian politics. I think it's time for all of us to get involved in Nigerian politics, because for a very long time we all abandon the space for people who doesn't mean well for the society. I think it's high time for all of us to come together and team up as a team to fight our common enemy. Whether Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, we are one. The only enemy we have is our elites, our people in power. Is the only enemy we have. They are the one using our position, our space, as they are using it as a friend for the mediocres among us to come and rule and govern us. And these people don't mean well. And it's better for all of us to come together as one and fight the common enemy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Foley. Thank you very much. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I was hoping to have a special guest round up, but he has said most of the things to be said. All we need to do now is spread this video. He said some very remarkable things. Yeah, somebody actually even captured one of the outstanding things that he said here, and I love. He says, we don't fight on behalf of the people, we fight alongside the people. This is what Kunle Wiseman said. Very, very, very remarkable. I'm going to tweet this. Let's just share this video and make sure that a lot of people see what he had to say. And then we're gonna end it on this note, and we're gonna ask you that is listening to join us when next we bring him to there are only a few days left. If you have a friend in Ondo State, make sure you send them a note asking them to vote for the African Action Congress and for Kunle Wiseman Ajayi. If we get an opportunity to bring him before the elections, we'll bring him. But keep spreading the news, like I said before. Support him by putting some money into the GTB account so that they can use it for gas, for flyers, for posters, for moving around. Okay, I have him back. I want to just give him an opportunity to round up. So, Comrade, yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, you know that Nigerians, please, should learn some things. The last time Omoyele Sowore was contesting for president, he was the only candidate that said, we are not going to remove subsidy, because that's the only thing Nigerians have. But at the end of what happens, Nigerians didn't vote for us. They went ahead to vote for, all of the options that the ruling class gave to them. All of those who were dedicated to subsidy removal. Now, the problem, the hunger, the pain, the hardship that all of us are in today is because of subsidy removal. So Nigerians should learn.
All right.
Vote for us. We are not going to remove subsidies and rebag your palliative to share during election, just like the current government.
All right. Thank you so much, Comrade, and I wish you success at the polls.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was a special guest, Comrade Kunle Wiseman, the governorship candidate of the African Action Congress for Ondo State in the upcoming Ondo elections, and we wish him well. Until next time, on behalf of Dr. Erica and everyone in Worship Media, my name is Dr. Chidi, and I'll see you guys around next time. Bye-bye.